Hello and welcome back to Solid. My name is Jake. Thank you guys very much for joining me. Today is Monday, March 24th, and we got Battlehawks to talk about, baby. We got football this week. It's Monday. There's a football game on Friday. That's a good thing, man. That's a good thing. It's been like a month and a half since we've seen football, and we get that this week. So I don't know. It's sick. Be happy about that. If you're like, oh, I don't like Mondays. If you're doing a whole Garfield thing, if that's your bit, then shut up. First of all, there's football this week, so look forward to that. As the Battlehawks are playing the Houston Roughnecks in Houston at, I assume it's probably like 7-ish. It's at 7. Yeah. So that's what's going on Friday. We got that to talk about. Kind of the plan for this week. I'm going to do this today. I'm going to talk about the wide receiver room and the running backs. Kind of introduce you. If you're this is for the real disgusting fucking psychopaths. That's what this is for. If you're like, man, I want to know who the hell number 41 is. I want to know who that guy is. Why is that running back wearing 41? Why is there a guy carrying the ball with a really bad number? I'm gonna let you know who that is. But so yeah, today I'm going to do wide receivers and running backs. Last week I did quarterbacks and the coaching staff and some rule changes. But yeah, today doing running backs, wide receivers. Tomorrow I'll do the Chonko boys, the D line, the offensive line, and the tight ends. And then what's the day after that? Wednesday I'll do the rest of the defense, and on Thursday I'll do whatever type of game preview that I can do for this. For this Houston team. I, honest to God, have not looked at their roster or what the hell they got going on. But we'll have fun with it. We'll look into it. First things first. If you're listening to this and you want to watch it, you can do that. That's an option. You got freedom, baby. You got freedom. I'm not Megatron. You get the freedom of choice. Okay. You can do that. It's Solid Pod on YouTube. If you're watching it and you want to listen, I get it. It still hurts, but I get it. You can do that. It's solid on Spotify and on Apple. So you got options. That's all I'm trying to say. If you are watching and you do want to listen, a dick move, but it's cool. I'm not mad at you or anything like that. But let's get into this. Let's get into the wide receivers first. The guys that are returning, we got Hakeem Butler. We like Hakeem Butler. Hakeem Butler, great big guy, like 6'5", 28 years old now. Great big guy. We like him. Not the best hands in the world, but big guy, can catch the ball if it's thrown to him well. He's quick. He's fast. He's fast when he has the ball in his hands. He can break tackles. Not the best route runner. Not the best blocker. Not exactly willing to block sometimes. I remember that from last year. And then number 1, Ja'Cour Pearson is also returning. We didn't see him a whole lot last year. He was real big. Not real big. He's a tiny guy. He's like 5'8". He's a little tiny guy. Little pipsqueak. That Ja'Cour Pearson. We didn't see him a whole lot last year because he's like coming off of an injury, or he was injured or something like that. But we didn't see him a whole lot, but he was really good in 2023 in the XFL with the Sea Dragons, I believe. Very fast guy. He looks like, I don't know, Speedy Gonzalez. No, I don't know. Who's a small, fast person? Pablo Sanchez. He wasn't necessarily fast. You guys get what I mean. Very fast guy. You get the ball in his hands, he'll be able to make a play. But again, didn't see a whole lot of it last year. Hopefully we see some more of it this year. AJ McCarron did kind of have his guys that he liked to throw to, but again, he's not here. That does kind of pose a problem here. We don't know what this passing game is going to look like. If anything, AJ McCarron was steady. He was a statue in the backfield, kind of. He last year he did move around a little bit more and actually kind of ran some, even with a fucked up leg. But Max Duggan, who I would assume is going to be the starter, Anthony Becht went out and said that it's actually a QB battle between Manny Wilkins and Max Duggan, and Chevin Cordero is like a guy who's kind of just been surprising during camp, but he's not really in the running for quarterback, for the starting quarterback. If it is between Max Duggan and Manny Wilkins, that means two things to me. One, Max Duggan's not playing very well because Manny Wilkins sucks. but maybe he's just doing he. That's what he does. He's a head coach. In he does he says weird shit. I don't know. Anyway, let's get back to the wide receivers. What I say? Hakeem Butler, Ja'Cour Pearson are returning. Blake Jackson, number 8 is Blake Jackson. I'm not a Blake Jackson guy. I think that he doesn't play smart football. I remember watching last year, and he made a bunch of dumb moves. Specifically, one time he like reached the ball for a first down on it was like a second down, and he reached the ball and then like handed it like just I mean absolutely deserved the fumble that he had. That was a very dumb thing to do, but I don't know. I remember he's also like a punt returner or a kick returner or something like that. Oh yeah, because Darius Shepard is not back. Darius Shepard is gone. Marcel Aitman is gone. So Darius Shepard was always really funny. He's a good possession receiver, good returner as well, but he's not on this team. So Blake Jackson, I assume, will probably actually get a little bit more play, which is going to be frustrating and dumb. Then there's number 12, Gary Jennings Jr. is returning. I remember Gary Jennings Jr. was like the guy I like that. Like whenever he made a play, it was like, okay, I like that. Like it was good. I liked what Gary Jennings Jr. did. I think he dropped a handful of balls and stuff like that, but he was a good deep threat. If I recall correct, I think he was. But I remember whenever Gary Jennings Jr. had the ball, I was like, good. That was good. I like that, which is compared to Blake Jackson is pretty. I mean, that's pretty substantial difference there. But let's talk about the new guys. New guys coming in. Notably, so this, I guess people were kind of surprised about this when they did the roster cuts or announced them last week. Andy Isabella got picked up by the Battlehawks. He was like a second-round pick at Arizona a handful of years ago, and people were like, wow, Andy Isabella's gone. Wow, what the hell happened? Well, Andy Isabella sucked was the whole thing. Like, I don't know why people were like kind of surprised about that. Like he just, and I'm biased because I think at one time I bet an over on him, and then it didn't hit, and that's enough for me to get sour on somebody. But yeah, I was not an Andy Isabella guy, but personally. And by personally, I mean as personal as it could get with as far as me believing in somebody, and then he kind of fucked me over one single time. But Andy Isabella, not a very good receiver, but he's not on the Battlehawks, so we actually don't give a shit. But Denzel Mims is a Battlehawk now. He's number 11. He was a 2020 second round pick by the New York Jets. His whole thing is that he asked for a trade in, I think it was 2022. Yeah, it was his third season. He didn't like how the Jets were using him, and I mean that makes sense. They were a really, really bad football team. I think he was getting thrown to. If I can think off the top of my head, if he was there from 2020, we're talking Sam Darnold, then we're talking Zach Wilson, Mike White, Joe Flacco. I believe those are the 4 quarterbacks that he probably had throwing to him. So it's like, yeah, you don't like the way that you're being used, but also the people that are throwing the football to you are also really bad. So I don't know if his whole thing, if maybe that was just his way of saying, I don't want to be on this team anymore because we're ass. And he's just like, what's the better way to say that? I don't like the way they're using me. I want to be a starter. That's a very diplomatic way to be like, I would prefer not to be on a team with Zach Wilson. So hats off to him if that's what he was saying. If it was actually, I'm not a fan of the way they're using me. That's a little bit far-fetched, but he did want to be a starter is what he said. In those 3 years with the Jets, he had 42 catches for 676 yards and 0 touchdowns. That's in 3 years. Not very good, but he did ask for a trade in season in 2022. He did not get that. After that season, he got traded to the Lions for like some kind of conditional late round pick. Went to the Lions in 2023. He got waived in August of 2023. He got signed by the Steelers in October of 2023, got waived by them in January of 2024, got signed by the Jags in the summer of 2024, and then released in August before the season started. And then he signed with the Battlehawks in October of 2024, and that's where we are now. His whole thing, like I said, he wants to be a starter. He's a big guy. Denzel Mims. Let's see. Denzel Mims. He's 6'3", 207 pounds. He was kind of like a big. He was kind of like a good prospect. But when he was going into the draft. Like he's like I said, big athletic guy. I think the thing is that he never really developed. He kind of like plays slower than he like his time in the at the combine. He ran a 4.38, which I guess that's actually not super good, but he plays slower than that. He's got a limited route tree. The thing with him though is that he can be fun. All right, there's a direct correlation between a receiver's catch radius and how much fun they are. Like, you think George Pickens, well, I guess he's fun because he tries to beat the shit out of everybody every chance that he gets. But whenever he catches the ball, it's like, wow, that was incredible. So that's kind of the thing with Denzel Mims. He's got a very good catch radius, so he will be fun if he does catch the ball. But that's kind of the thing with him. I'm not entirely sure I'm expecting a whole lot out of him. I think he's one of them names where it's like, oh, this is a big one, and then you're like, he didn't actually do shit. So that's kind of what I'm thinking with Denzel Mims. I'm open to being surprised about it, but I don't necessarily think I'm going to be. I think we've seen what we've seen at a Denzel Mims, and it wasn't great. I think that was just a second round bust, is what I think that he was. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong before, like I don't know, twice ever. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna get a drink of water. Okay, it's a big water bottle. If you saw that on the screen, it's a big water bottle. Okay, next wide receiver that we're going to talk about is going to be Frank Darby, who is going to be wearing number 2. He was a 2021 sixth-round pick by Atlanta. In 2 years, he didn't have a whole lot of playing time. He played 74 total plays in those 2 seasons. He only had 2 catches, one for 14 and one for 15 yards. He was getting thrown to by Marcus Mariota and Desmond Ridder, if I recall correctly, in 2022. I can't remember who their quarterback was in 2021, and it's probably a good thing. But anyway, yeah, no, he not exactly another guy who wasn't getting the ball thrown to him by a good player. The Falcons let his contract expire in 2023. The 49ers signed him in 2024, and then they waived him before the season started, and then he signed with the Battlehawks this February. So what is that? Last month. He's a deep ball guy, like through and through. You throw the ball to Frank Darby deep. Like that's what you do with Frank Darby. I don't think he's going to have much use underneath or anything like that. I think he's going to be a run people off kind of guy and open things up underneath. I know. For some reason, football coaches value that. Not necessarily what I like. Just because you have a body going deep doesn't mean that body deserves respect. So I think that if Frank Darby is going to be used, I think it will be really good. Because that means it would be Max Duggan or fucking not. It's not gonna be Manny Wilkins. We're not putting that thought into the air. He'll have to get some targets in order for him to actually be a useful receiver as kind of like a decoy or something like that. Just having a guy run deep like that, like that's my whole thing. Having a guy run deep and then not throwing the ball to him, it's like, well, why the fuck would somebody cover him then? So hopefully Frank Darby gets some targets because that could be a really fun thing. He does have some drop issues. Like there's a reason this guy went to the 6th round in the draft. But he does have some drop issues. He's not great at blocking. So he's kind of a negative in the run game, but who knows? If you got a guy that you want to throw the ball deep to, I'm a fan. As long as you do throw the ball deep to him and you don't just make the guy do sprints every single game, every single play. So that's Frank Darby's number 2. Number 82, this is the last wide receiver, is Sam Wiggles. I think that's how you say it. I really hope that's how you say it because I could end up being a huge fan of Sam Wiggles. It's Wiglusz, which I'm probably saying it wrong, but God damn it, I hope I'm right. God damn it, I hope I'm right. If it's Wiggles, buddy, we're cooking with fire there. Sam Wiggles played at Ohio State for 3 years. I think it was like 2019 to 2021. That's 3 seasons. And then he transferred to university. So he went from Ohio State to the University of Ohio, which is in the MAC. When he was at Ohio State, he only had 3 catches over 3 years, so he was nothing there. So he transferred to University of Ohio, where he ended up being the first-team All-MAC wide receiver 2 years in a row in 2022 and 2023. He was an undrafted free agent, got signed by the Rams in May of 2024. He got moved to the practice squad in August and then released on October 31st of 2024. That doesn't matter. I couldn't find a whole lot on him. I remember, I don't, no, that'd be a lie. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I remember Sam Wiggles. I love MAC football. I love MAC football. Give me Sam Wiggles on a Wednesday. Wiggle Wednesday. Ooh, buddy. Now that's good. But my take for Sam Wiggles, I think, and this is purely off of vibes. I have nothing to go from this. I have nothing to go off of this at all. I think that this could be a who the fuck is that guy? Kind of like Hakeem Butler. Hakeem Butler was kind of a known entity. You remember him from getting that one pass by the Eagles in 2020 in that shit season. But Sam Wiggles, I think purely off of vibes, I think this could be a what the fuck was that? Who the fuck is that guy? I think that could be what we're looking at with the Sam Wiggles. I don't know if I want to look too far into this. Let's see. In the 2022 season, he notched 73 catches for 877 yards and 11 touchdowns. In 2023, he had 56 catches for 660 yards and 3 touchdowns. I don't know, man. I wish I had more on a Sam Wiggles. Shockingly, this is going to be a less. This is not the least I have on one of the people that I'm going to talk about today. So I guess maybe I should just go into the running backs. I'm looking. I should have prepared more. Let's see if I can look at a Sam Wiggles draft profile real quick. This is from draftscout.com. Sam Wiggles leaped high to pull in a 22-yard pass from Curtis Rourke. Now, this isn't going to help me out at all. Yeah, I don't know. He is 5'11". Oh, that was the thing with him. That I did look up a little bit on Sam Wiggles. His size, I guess, is kind of shitty. He's 6 feet tall and only 187 pounds, so he's not like a small guy. I remember like Austin Prohl was a small guy. Shit, talking about Ja'Cory Pearson is a small guy. The same Wiggle, he's got not a big. He's very slight. He's very slight, and that's one of the reasons that things wouldn't work out for him in the NFL. Is you can't have a guy like that that's going to be a wide receiver. Well, I guess typically you don't. Devontae Smith he's a skinny lad too, but that's the thing with Sam Wiggles, kind of a slight guy. But I really do just purely on vibes, and I don't want to toot my own horn, but a lot of times my vibe checks are correct. I'm not trying to toot my own. I'm tooting my own horn. I'm good at this. I'm good at vibes. Okay, I'm not gonna try to sell myself short. I'm good at vibes, and I think I'll probably be wrong because I'm jacking this one up so much. But a Sam Wiggles, I would be delighted if he ended up being like a fun thing. So that is the wide receivers. Like I said, Hakeem Butler, Frank Darby, Blake Jackson, Gary Jennings, Denzel Mims, Ja'Cory Pearson, and Sam Wiggles. So that is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wide receivers that the Battlehawks have. Going into running backs, there is only one returning running back from last season, and that is Jacob Saylors. I love a Jacob Saylors. He's a fun runner. He works hard. He's a hard runner, breaks tackles. There was a 1-yard run last season, and it was the best 1-yard run I've ever seen. He's like spinning out in the backfield, plants his hand on the ground and does like some really lame looking parkour, but like flipping around. It was good. It was good. It was a 1-yard run, but I like him. He can break tackles. He's got speed. If I recall correctly, he went to the Giants training camp, or maybe it was just their OTAs last season. but they didn't keep him. I think he had like some kind of injury that kind of took him away. But the Giants are a joke of a franchise. They did hit on who's that cat that they got on their that rookie that they just drafted. Giants running back Tyrone Tracy. Yeah. They did just hit on Tyrone Tracy after losing Saquon because they're stupid, dumb idiots. I say losing Saquon. They gave him away. They're fucking morons. So they did cut Jacob Saylor. So he did have a chance in the NFL last year, but I mean, chance in quotes. But he's back, so I like that. So that leaves only 2 other running backs on the roster right now, which I get it. Kind of. No, one of them, like I mentioned before, number 41, Jarvian Howard. Jarvian Howard did some time at Syracuse before he transferred to Alcorn State, where he was the all-SWAC running back in 2023. He was an undrafted free agent, signed with the Packers in April of 2024, got released in August, and then signed with the Battlehawks in December. He's got a good size. He's 5'10", 215, so he's kind of a bulky guy. I say bulky. He's typical maybe not typical because running backs typically are a little bit taller, but he fits his frame well. He He can break tackles. He's kind of like a hard-nosed guy. It's kind of what you want in a running back. This is from Draft Diamonds, which is like the guys that they find the diamonds in the rough, I believe is what their name is. There's a quote from them. Howard is a strong, hard-nosed, one-cut running back with pro-ready physical measurements, distinguished contact balance, and notable break tackle ability in the backfield and in open space. That's good. That sounds good. Sure. That's my take on that. I still just really like a Jacob Saylors. I think that some of these guys, it might come down to what they can do in pass protection. If Max Duggan needs some help back there, but we'll really kind of have a better picture maybe in 4 days, or maybe in, I don't know, what's 4 days plus 7, 11 days, 12 days, whatever. You guys get what I mean. I think that the way that the running backs have worked out with the Battlehawks in the past is what they go into the season with is not what it ends up being. This is until further notice, we don't exactly know how this running back room is going to work out. That being said, the other new running back is Kevin Lattilis. Kevin Lattilis. I was like, that name doesn't sound familiar. Tried looking some stuff up from Kevin Lattilis. He was a running back from Missouri State, so home state guy. I don't know where he's from. And there's not a whole lot on him. And what I did find is from a website called The Gridiron Crew. And this is talking about the pro prospect interview with Kevin Lattilis. It's Kevon. So maybe it's Kevon Lattilis. If I want to, Kevin Lattilis or Kevon Lattilis. That's what I'm going to say. This is crazy. This says that he is 6'4", 295 pounds. I don't believe that. Like that's crazy. A 6'4" running back who's 295 pounds. That's fucking wild. Like that doesn't make sense. That can't be right. That has to be a 295 pound running. That's a bowling ball. Let's see what his BMI would be real quick. BMI calculator for men, adult BMI. This is on CDC's website. 6 feet, 4 inches tall, 295. Looking at his BMI. That's obese. He's got a BMI of 35.9, and that says that is obese. That can't be right. It simply cannot be right. But one thing I was looking at this interview with him, the question, what separates you from the other pro prospects in your position? Um, and his answer is, quote, "I'm willing to die feeding my family, playing the game I love, and I won't stop until I get my gold jacket. I never compare myself to other players. I have my own dreams I'm going to accomplish with the help of the man upstairs." So he's a God guy, but I'm gonna I'm willing to die feeding my family, playing the game I love, and won't stop till I get my gold jacket. You know, moxie for sure. He's definitely got moxie, so that's good for him. Um, I don't think that his plan's going. I don't think it's going to according to plan quite yet. Maybe he's a process over results guy. Maybe he a gold jacket process is what he's got. Um, I would say the results probably aren't exactly what he wanted, but if he's 6'4" and 295 and he's a running back, um, I don't know. You wouldn't have to do if you make it as a professional football player in the NFL and you're a 6'4" tall, 295-pound running back. It probably wouldn't take a whole lot of production in order to at least get thrown around. Be like, oh, this goddamn guy's a freak of nature. We got to at least pay some respect to him, because he's. I can't imagine that he's 295 pounds. That's crazy. That's a psychotic thing. I hope he is, because that could be hilarious. I don't think you understand how much fun that would be if there was just some obese guy just getting the ball and just chunking his way down the field. Man, that would be, again. There's nothing else on this guy. Let's see. What is your final pitch to the NFL and any other pro leagues? Franchise player, underdog, but with a big dog mentality. I love this game, and I love making people around me better. Willing to play any position needed to help my team win a championship. You should be more specific, is my willing to play any position. It sounds like you're built for a tackle. Not even a tackle, because you're not 300. Built for a backup guard. God, I hope he's 295 pounds. 6'4" as well. That's a giant. How tall is Max Duggan? Let me see how tall Max Duggan is. Because it's always funny whenever you see Kyler Murray with James Conner, because James Conner's a great big guy and Kyler Murray's a small guy, and it's always funny seeing them two lined up next to each other in the backfield, because James Conner just dwarfs him. Yeah, Max Duggan is 6'1", 207 pounds. If there's a guy who's 3 inches taller and 100 pounds heavier lining up next to him, guys, this could be the funniest thing. Keep an eye on that. All right, you're on Friday, we're going to be looking for number 25, Kevon Latulis, just this disgustingly huge person potentially carrying the ball. So that's where we're at. All right. We talked about wide receivers. We talked about the running backs, our Jacob Sailors, Jarvian Howard, and Kevin Latulis, or Kevon Latulis, or Kevon Latulis, or Kevin Latulis, whatever. So those are the guys that we got going on. I will be back with you tomorrow talking about some other big guys, I guess. Maybe we'll have to check and see. I'll come back to you tomorrow and see which guys Kevin Latulis is potentially bigger than, because that could be fun. So that's where we're at. Thank you guys very much for joining me. This has been solid. I don't know. Go Birds, go Iron Birds, go Battlehawks. If you say anything to anybody anytime, they'll just take that as like, oh, this guy likes the Battlehawks. Like, I was going into Schnucks earlier, and they're doing like the new, like the shopping cart where you pay and like you scan things as it's going into your basket. And the guy said, "You want to try our new shopping cart?" I said, "No, I'm good." But that guy clearly, when I said, "No, I'm good," he's like, "Oh, that's like go Battlehawks." That's what he said. So that's all you got to do. Just say anything to anybody, and it'll be translated that way correctly. Thank you guys again very much for joining me, and I will talk to you later.